just open up YouTube and that will bring up the comments.
Yeah, if you go to the live. Right. Think we are on.
Hello, everyone.
Can everybody hear us? I think it looks like the audio's good. Oh, look at that. Cool. Yeah, so you should be able to follow along with that too. So, hello. Here we are, another Wednesday. A lot of you. I should turn that volume down. So you might have noticed that we moved this back to 8 o'clock, which we'll probably keep doing. There's just so many people. Honestly, most of our subscribers and stuff live on the West Coast, and doing it at 5 o'clock our time puts it at 2 o'clock their time, and so we bumped it back to 8 so people can watch on the West Coast, and that should be great. So we'll start off. Somebody left a comment early on that says, "Hey guys, thanks for taking the time to do this. We're PCT bound in the spring, March 17th start, and are curious how you found your actual daily mileage aligned with what you anticipated in planning." So that's a tough one. I think we didn't have huge mileage plans per se. We did kind of have a time frame. Our goal was to do it in 5 months.
Yeah, it was our original goal.
Yeah.
And every day we pretty much just hiked as much as possible. We started early, we ended late, and we just tried to do as many miles as we could. Definitely like the conditions and the elevation gains and things would dictate, whether we could go really far or not.
Yeah.
So we just kind of played it by ear and went as fast as we could, and it turned out really well.
Yeah, and I don't think we went so fast that it was like unenjoyable.
No.
I'd say that we started off slower than anticipated, which is a good thing to know. Just give yourself the time. It's not going to matter that if for 2 weeks you go slowly, you're going to make up those miles. I'd say by the end of it, we were actually doing bigger days than I would have thought we would have been doing. But because of weather and stuff, we ended up taking more days off, so it all kind of evened out. I'd say that, in my mind at least, I would have said that once we got our hiker legs, that we'd be hiking 20 to 25 miles a day. By Northern California, 25 to 30 became normal for us. So, so just plan on, give yourself a time frame, and it'll all work out. Start slow. Don't plan on doing big 20s back to back right off the bat.
Yeah.
So,
We did it in like 5 months and a week, I think.
5 months and 2 days. Finished on August 9th.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So which is good, considering we took a fair amount of time off the trail as well. So this is cool too, because the section that we're talking about today I'm excited about, because it's our first kind of big mountain snowy endeavor, and it's really fitting right now because everybody's kind of panicking about the snowpack right now. Looks like out in California, I'm sure, as you all know, there's record snow, and that's it is going to be tough, and people going through what you're going to see here, the San Jacintos and everything, might be dealing with these types of conditions in April and May. I don't know. Yeah. It's pretty crazy to see what's happening out there with all the snow. It'll be really interesting to follow along with hikers this year and see how it affects their trip.
It'll be interesting to see.
Let's see. What are you drinking tonight? I don't know. Some beers. Some
IPAs.
Yeah.
Sam's not really a fan of his.
No.
Yeah, we do have Campari back there. It's our like little mini bar.
I don't like Campari.
No, it's actually really gross. We had never tried it. We had a friend who loves it, so we're like, we'll get some and try making drinks with it. It's actually pretty gross.
Yeah.
Probably won't use it.
So we got a long one tonight, so let's hop right into it. This is going to be from the Paradise Valley Cafe, Idlewild, to Cabazon, so just the 50 miles of the San Jacinto Mountains. And a lot happened in this time, and it was pretty intense, pretty wild. Lots of snow, some weather, some water problems. I guess we'll see. And feel free to ask questions as you're on here. We're happy to answer them and help those that are planning on doing the trail succeed, because this is the first time that we kind of had crazy conditions thrown our way on the trail.
Unexpected.
And I know we talked about it last week, but the first thing I would say is that we recommend going into Idlewild before starting these mountains and start fresh from Paradise Valley and just do them all, rather than doing the side trail down into Idlewild and back up.
Yeah, it's a very steep trail and it's a lot of extra miles, and it's better to just go into Idlewild and then start these mountains, for sure.
So let's go back to like March 17th or something and see how it went for us. Hopefully it works. If everything went to plan, we will not have ads.
The mountains had a lot of snow, like 3/4 in
today, yeah. Alright, here we go.
We thought ahead. We're sending a resupply ahead because the next town's not great for resupplies, and Idlewild is awesome. Tons of goodies.
Turns out we didn't even need to do that.
Get ahead. Pack it up.
Well, we didn't need to do that, but I'd also recommend definitely do that, because if you're in Cabazon, there's nowhere else to get groceries. We ended up going into Palm Springs, which is not typical for through hikers.
Right.
We were just offered a ride right off the bat.
That's true.
So I totally think this is a good idea.
It is a good move, yeah.
Mail something to the post office because it's right off the trail.
But we ended up going to Palm Springs. But it was nice not having a grocery shop.
Does anyone have like a piece of paper or a receipt and or a pen? Or first of all, let's start with a piece of paper.
It's a piece of paper.
I'll get one after.
0-day activities.
Thank you, River. Yoga, wine,
Olives
olives.
She was bougie.
and friends.
That's not word. That's better for me. It's not what I'm practicing.
It actually tastes really good. And thank you, Sam, because I know it's a hard job on the Barbie.
Hello.
Good morning.
We are back on the trail after an awesome 0. We spent the day in Idlewild. Woke up, did some yoga. Got good food. Spent the night grilling food. We ate a bunch of vegetables, which was amazing. And we just hitched a ride back to the Paradise Valley Cafe. Got a little breakfast. And we're walking. We're heading for the snowy mountains now. Should be pretty interesting. A little cold up there.
We have our micro spikes, so we're ready.
We're ready. All of our packs are extremely heavy. We have a lot of food. But it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be awesome.
So here we go. Back on it.
So, worth mentioning here to any aspiring PCT hikers, if you go into Idlewild, especially in March, you are going to hear a lot of stuff that says do not go into these mountains. It's the first place that there's a lot of alerts. People have died up in these mountains, and people are saying these things out of the goodness of their heart, but take it with a grain of salt. And I would say, no matter what people in town are saying, go up into the mountains. If there's something you're uncomfortable with, definitely turn around, but go see for yourself, because I don't know if it's in this video, but even once we were hiking up, somebody on the trail was like, you need to turn around, there's snow up there, you can't go up there.
Just yelling at us from way down.
Yeah.
Just being like, turn around, there's snow. We're like, we know.
And we went up, and there was a lot of snow, as you'll see, but
And trust yourself. If you have experience with snow and you feel confident, go ahead. Maybe if you have never seen snow before, proceed with caution.
bring micro spikes and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, and we can talk about it more as it goes on. I don't want to get too caught up right now, but if this is what people are freaking out about on the PCT, it is your first snowy mountain section, but nobody's freaking out about all this stuff that's 10 times sketchier in the Sierra.
Right. I think
this wasn't that.
I think it's because everyone goes in, it's at the very beginning of the trail. It's 130 miles in. Everyone thinks of it as desert, and they don't expect to see big giant mountains with snow on it.
Right.
And it was really surprising, even for us.
Yeah.
But thankfully we had experience in snow and we knew how to deal with it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were freaking out, and we thought it was overhyped. But I'm sure if they didn't have that, there would be more casualties.
Yeah, definitely.
We're all back with very heavy packs. Heading for the mountains. Hi.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, so the first day going in was just climbing. We got up super high into the mountains. I don't remember the names of all the mountains, but we were with a bunch of friends and we set up, and that would actually end up being the last night that we were with a lot of those friends.
Yeah, our group got thinned out really quickly. We started, with
A lot.
we lost like 3 or 4 people. And they
Yeah.
didn't like die, but they just fell behind and we're like, we're gonna camp here, and we just never saw them again.
I had to go back to town.
Yeah, I
But
think they went back.
I mean, you'll see from the audio here, as we go up higher and higher, the wind's picking up. There's a chance of storms coming in. It was cool.
Yeah, it reminded me of home. It felt like we were in the White Mountains.
Totally.
Are we having fun?
We're having so much fun.
It's amazing. They weren't lying. This is beautiful up here. This is amazing. We have mountains over here, and then on this side it's all desert.
It was fun. It's Palm Springs.
Yeah, so as you can see in these videos, there's a lot of burn area. And that's why when Mariah did half the PCT in 2018, you didn't get to do this section because it was still closed.
We just did Mount San Jacinto and went down.
Right. Everybody went from Idlewild up Jacinto and down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this was, I think wasn't this actually the first year? Or
Yeah,
the second year that it was, this whole section was open?
I think so, yeah. For the first time in like 6 or 8 years or something crazy. Yeah.
I mean, there's the blowdown section. It's still kind of a wreck up there,
totally.
but it was so unique for us East Coasters to be up there, and down to your right, looking east, it's just low desert, and then to your left, you're looking down where you came from, like Idlewild and stuff, and it's only 3,000 or 4,000 feet of vert to your left, but like 10,000 feet of vert to your right. It's so crazy being up on these ridges.
Yeah, one side was like lush and green, and then the other side was just like barren desert wasteland looking. You can really see how the moisture gets trapped by the mountains. It's pretty wild. And there's one point where you could, just see both spectrums.
Yeah.
It's very, very different.
Well, they have that Cactus to Clouds trail, which I'm sure some of you guys know about, where it goes from, I don't know what the elevation is, somewhere really low all the way to San Jacinto, and it's like 10,000.
Sea level to like 11,000.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
So that's a cool sounding trail. I definitely would like to do that someday.
Yeah, it's like 40 miles in total to go
up and
out
down.
and back.
I think it's a
yeah.
20-mile trail, the Cactus to Cloud.
Yeah.
Alright, let's keep going. Maybe.
Hi.
We're hunkered
That
down.
looks so
We
bad.
had a great day.
It was amazing.
We climbed up to about, 7,000 feet
Mm-hmm.
on these big mountains. It was beautiful, amazing. So cool. And tomorrow we're going up even higher. It's where the snow sections are that people are a little worried about, but it won't be bad. We took a gamble for water and went a mile off trail for water, and
It was dry.
completely dry. And it's getting late, and there's going to be 50-mile-an-hour winds tonight, and maybe some rain. So we hunkered down here,
Yeah. Where it's safe.
hopefully.
Yeah. It's lower in elevation, so it should be a little bit better.
Yeah, so to elaborate more on what happened
We're being
there.
so nonchalant about it, but really we're like freaking out.
Yeah, so we had to go. We heard or saw a comment saying that there's water at the spot if you go down the western slope of the mountain,
Like a mile.
like just over a mile. So we're like, all right, we need water. Let's go down. And it also said that there's tent sites down there.
Mm-hmm.
So we hiked the 1.5 miles or whatever down, and we're like, we can see the creek beds, but there's no water.
Yeah, we keep going and going. I think we ended up going like well over a mile.
Yeah, and no camp spots, no water. And all of a sudden we see these clouds coming over the tops of the mountains where our friends, the friends that we were talking about earlier, they camped up on the ridge, and we see these clouds come in. We're like, all right, there's no water, there's no campsites, but we're not going back up there tonight. So we just put our tents in the middle of this random trail.
Like a not very beaten trail.
Yeah, just like on the trail.
Mm-hmm.
We had a line of our 3 tents, us, Firecracker, and Paul.
No water.
Yeah, our other friends were up on the mountain. We'd later learn that they had such a crazy night that in the morning they hiked back to town and reset to try again, which they ended up making it over, but it was totally wild. And I mean, it was a gamble to go down there, but I'm glad that we didn't spend the night up on the ridge.
Yeah, it would have been really windy, cold. It rained.
It did rain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was already getting wild on our first night up in the sand.
Yeah, we're so far from water. Whoops.
Tomorrow we'll go right back up. Should be amazing.
Yeah. We're only a couple miles from waters, so
It's a couple minutes.
Hopefully.
hopefully.
Allegedly. You never know.
I don't know if this track shows us going down.
Hmm.
Oh, it definitely does, because you can see the map goes down.
Yes, so.
Yeah, because we ended up at this junction right there. And then we
That's
went
where
down.
we went down, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a decent way down.
Yeah. Such a pretty morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were up on that ridge before, and the clouds were clearing out on that ridge.
Morning.
Morning. We're up high and going higher. It was a crazy night.
We thought
Very,
that was a
very
crazy
windy,
night.
Right.
rainy.
Rain.
It was nuts. I was glad that we dropped down 1,000 feet, but now we're going up to like 8,000 feet, or 9, or something.
Over the notorious Peak.
Yeah, I got some snow crossings to do today, but it's gonna be beautiful if it's anything like yesterday.
We're only planning like 9 miles.
Yeah.
So we'll take our time.
Look how cool the sun just came out.
Oh, so pretty.
Here we go.
It's wild.
Good idea. There's some air in them. You know,
Were they icy?
Little guys.
This is where we had to drop down and go get water.
Yeah. Everywhere on the trail, there was no water sources. We had to go like a mile off trail to get water every time.
Look at the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's crazy is this right here isn't actually on the PCT. That junction from the last shot is actually where we went down off the ridge because you had to go. I think this was like a half mile down to the spring with terrible smelling water.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there's no water really along the whole ridge. You could melt snow, but that uses a bunch of gas. And it just,
time.
yeah. But yeah, so you have to drop down several times to get water, and this is one of those spots.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like a few extra miles in total that we have to go to get water.
That's all of our water bags.
Yeah. So cool.
So this is the notorious section that everybody gets really nervous about. It's definitely no fall terrain, but snow conditions are actually really, really good. The trail is pretty benched out. I would say micro spikes not necessary, but recommended still. So for all those people freaking out down in Idlewild, right now it's not bad at all.
Yeah, so even on the Far Out app, there's a red exclamation mark because this is where that kid several years ago tragically fell and he actually passed away. So people are very cautious here. And I think it's, it's good to know. However, this is definitely, like, even in this section, I don't think this was the worst part.
No.
If
no,
you have micro spikes, this part is not bad at all.
Right.
It's really not.
But it was good to know about it, like, ahead of time, just to, like, be on guard. You know, if you're just hiking along, just not thinking, it'd be easy to make a mistake. So it was good to be like, oh, this is the area, like, make sure you just proceed with caution.
Yeah.
And as long as you know that, like, you'll be fine. Just make sure you don't fall.
Yeah, I think it's just not worth going up. I'd say for the 2 days leading up to this, I definitely, in the back of my mind, was kind of I was like, oh man, we're going, like, I'm nervous for myself. I'm nervous to watch you go across this part. And then we got there, and I'm like, why have I been freaking out for 2 days about this? Like, it's not bad. There's much crazier stuff to come, but...
Yeah. Even the people that we're hiking with, Firecracker, she had never hiked in snow before in her life. And she felt better that we were there because we were confident in our abilities in snow, but, she went over fine. She had no experience, and just make sure you're confident with every footstep you make.
Yeah, and there were steps kicked in, which made it really easy, but...
And the snow was hard.
Ice axe is definitely not needed.
Same being
I know a lot of people are down in Idlewild buying ice axes right now, but it's definitely...
sorry for pausing this again. Well, everybody told us we were like idiots for going up there without ice axes, and they almost convinced me that, like, I felt like, am I being that stupid to not have one? They're like, you need one. And I saw all these people that have never used ice axes spending $180 on an ice axe that they don't know how to use.
Right, that's the thing. People, like, if they carry an ice axe, they feel like they are just in this bubble where they're safe because they have an ice axe. Where they don't know how to use it. They're not carrying it, so it's just useless on their backpack. Yeah. But it's like, if you have it, you'll be safe, which...
Totally not. True. Like, self-arresting is like a skill to learn. Like, you have to know how to do it.
You have to practice it and do it.
Totally. Yeah. Like, I'm carried a lot of ice axes in my life, and this was not a place that you needed one, especially if you had no idea how to use it. Yeah. End of my rant. But I don't know.
If you know how to use one,
it's very benched out and stepped out at this point, so... But use your own judgment if you're coming through here. Maybe it's, conditions change every day, so be careful.
This part was way more exposed.
Yeah.
This is
like sheer
way
drop-off
more
cliffs.
exposed.
All snow. Yeah.
Like, where you're standing right now is like a 200-foot drop to your right.
Way more scary. Bigger consequences.
little baby manzanita trees just trying to grow up here. Pretty cool.
And when watching these, I just realized that we just laugh at everything.
This part is way more exposed.
A little bit deep and soft here, but still not bad at all.
Sun came out.
Yeah.
This was a wild day.
Mm-hmm. This whole area is so beautiful. The blowdowns are really bad.
See the burn there.
It is crazy all in this one day. There's so much weather.
Mm-hmm.
So Mariah, this is gonna be a new frisbee spot. Yeah.
We just talked about like on every like dramatic view how we just wish we had a frisbee that we could fling out. Or a golf ball, so we could just like huck out. That would be biodegradable.
Well, that's what Paul was saying. That's what he was explaining.
I know,
here.
that's why.
Well, he was saying that they have biodegradable ones in Holland.
Oh yeah.
Like somebody made those.
That go into the ocean and it's fish food.
Yeah, or something crazy.
Yeah. One day I'll invent frisbees.
Biodegradable frisbees. Squirrels.
Hi, Mariah. Today's been the coolest.
San Jacinto wilderness.
We've done it all. Snow, sun, wind, rain. Huge mountains. It's amazing.
So amazing.
About 2 miles from our camp for the night.
Yep.
Gonna camp out at 8,000 feet tonight. Hopefully we're warm.
Yeah, it's supposed to be warm, so.
Shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. Totally not bad.
Temps means cooking in the tent. Mariah is hangry.
Very angry.
Look out for her.
Don't talk to me.
Okay. Did you have a fun day? Yeah. What was your favorite part? Was it beautiful?
Why did you put that in?
It's amazing.
Said don't talk to me.
I think there's a comment on this video that's like, says don't talk to her, proceeds to talk to her.
And record it.
Oh, this was the prettiest.
Mm.
This was such a nice place to sit and watch the sunset.
Yeah.
And it was calm for a minute here.
For a minute, yeah.
You'll see what happens here in a minute. This has got to be one of the craziest.
is so loud. It's so cold.
Cold and windy night.
Will we survive?
Who knows?
No one really knows. Good night.
Good night.
Bye. This is stupid.
It's like that all night.
Yeah, so that night was, the wind was truly blowing like that all night long. Our tent, shout out to Big Agnes for making a tent that can withstand that.
Tiger Wall 2, baby.
But it straight up was bending on, like I'd be laying there and the tent wall would be on my face.
Yeah, like slapping.
And so loud. I mean, I don't remember really getting any sleep that night. Our poor friend Paul had his, I don't know, one of the trekking pole tents. I don't even remember what
The like really popular one.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so he had his trekking pole tent and he said it collapsed like 6 times and he gave up and just like wrapped himself up in the tent.
Just used it as a bivvy after trying to set it up like 6 different times. He's like, I didn't sleep at all.
I mean, granted we did set up camp pretty exposed at like 9,000 feet that night. There's really nowhere else to go though.
Yeah. And I remember like before we went to sleep there was like a big giant dead tree and I was like, oh, it'll be fine, like blah blah blah, and then the wind picked up and just all night I'm like, we're gonna get crushed, but I'm too lazy to like move the tent.
Yeah.
It was pretty nerve-wracking.
And come to find out that night, I totally forgot about this, but we would later find out that KJ, this lady in her late 60s, ended up rolling into that camp in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. And we heard her and she's trying to set up her tent and it's blowing all around. I think some people got out and helped her because Fahrenheit and Clara also set up there. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people that we ended up knowing in the future actually were at that spot that night and everybody had crazy stories about their tents and everything. It was a wild night. It was
that is so funny.
Terrible, really, to sleep there.
I remember being like half asleep and like seeing headlamps and I thought it was like aliens, and then I woke up and was like, oh, it's obviously people, not aliens.
Yeah. It was a trip. Definitely just find the sheltered campsites up on the San Jacintos because the weather comes in at night hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it was a calm night, it would have been like the best tent site ever, but it wasn't a calm night.
Not at all. But I think after that, the weather was pretty good.
Yeah. Just a lot of snow.
I'm curious to see how many miles this day was, because it felt like I felt like we saw so much. Mm-hmm. But I don't think you can see that. We went down for the water.
Yeah, that was for water.
I feel like it wasn't that much mileage for how much of a day it seemed like.
Yeah. I think it ended up being like 10 miles, right?
13.3.
But that's
so for 13.3 miles. Oh yeah,
how was your night?
Restless. There's a lot of wind. Took me a long time to fall asleep, and I woke up a lot.
It was pretty crazy up here, but our tent survived.
Good.
And it's calmed down a little bit. That's what you get for camping at 8,000 feet.
Pretty sure the tent like bent in like
on top of
here.
us. We're just out here being silly, having fun.
Got oatmeal, so
playing in the elements. All good.
Yeah.
This mountain range is pretty crazy.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. So maybe we have to tone down the miles a little bit because it's slow moving through all the snow and ice, and it's not over yet.
Today we hike up to 9,000 feet.
Wow. And there's no water up here either, so that adds a element of fun.
There's snow.
There's snow.
See about that.
See you on trail.
Bye.
We're all here. We lived. Look at this.
We're not dead yet.
We're not dead yet.
That was our catchphrase.
You guys ever seen Beer Fest? No. Depends on the good song. It goes for a while.
I felt like we were already so used to this now.
Mm-hmm. Is this the day that you left your phone behind?
Mm-hmm.
Big tree. Those are the kind of blow down trees that we were dealing with. Giant ones. Would you like another beer?
Sure.
Do you want a sour?
Yeah, I'll have that. Whatever it was.
Do you want me to pour it up?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I have good hopes.
I think we took it super easy this day.
Washing.
Oh, Mariah's taking a shower.
We made it to a much calmer camp.
Much calmer.
That's funny. We said that this is a much calmer camp, but I think this night ended up being crazy too, didn't it? I'm pretty sure. Yet again, it was just super windy.
We're still at 8,000 feet, but there's no wind. We made it over our high point of these mountains today.
We're in trees.
Yeah, it's very nice. Nice little camp spot. Very exciting.
This had to be one of our shortest full days on the trail, I think.
Yeah, we did like 9 miles, right?
Something like that. Not much at all. Saddle Junction. So that right there, Saddle Junction is where if you decide to just go past Paradise Valley and start up the San Jacintos, Saddle Junction is where you end up taking a left and going down into town. So everything that we just did in that video, we would have had to do that with the small amount of food that we had.
We only had like a day or two of food.
Yeah.
And we were doing big miles and we're like, we can make it, like blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But it took us way longer than we thought because of the conditions.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's a long ways and a lot of hard terrain in between Paradise Valley and Saddle Junction. So.
Yeah. We were doing like 15 to 20 miles a day and that kicked us down to like 10 miles a day at best. And that was all day hiking.
Yeah.
I want to go back there.
I want to go back too. Idlewild's one of the main places in California that I keep saying I want to go back to.
Yeah, there's climbing there and the town's really fun and cute.
Yeah. Go hike in those mountains, go out to Joshua Tree, super close.
Yeah.
We should go.
We should. Let's do it.
Okay. It's been decided.
Okay.
It says 10.2, but we probably did some water.
Hello.
Extra stuff.
We were wrong last night. It was not calm. The second the sun went down, right back to 40-mile-an-hour winds. Our tent collapsed pretty much right on top of us. It was rough.
Still standing. We just lost a lot of space.
Yeah. So it was another sleepless night. But we're rewarded with these amazing views. Nice sunrise this morning. We have about 26-ish more miles to the town of Cabazon, where we shipped ourselves resupply boxes. And that'll kind of end this shortened mileage, but huge in experience
Yeah, it's been absolutely
section.
amazing.
So maybe we'll make a video for just this section, even though it's 50 miles. It's been amazing. So
Really epic.
maybe one more day of traveling through some snow up ahead, and then
Back to the desert.
downhill. Bye.
Bye.
Do we tell the story in the video about what happened right here?
For me,
Yeah.
was it here?
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't. We don't even talk about it.
We don't in the video?
I don't think so.
Do you want to talk about what happened right there?
I'd love to talk about it. So we were in snow for so long, and then finally there's these big, beautiful switchbacks downhill that's snow clear. And we're like, yeah, let's go. We were like, hiking really fast down. I had my micro spikes on, and I take a wrong step where my micro spike hooks into my shoelace, and I eat poop. I go tumbling down face forward, my whole body. The weight of my pack just makes me like tumble down.
Like down stone steps.
Stones.
It was all rock.
Yeah, all rock. I like my entire body weight and my pack weight all lands right on this knee, like right here. And it messed me up. It messed me up good.
Yeah.
My knee hurt for like a month.
Yeah, until like the Sierra.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It was really bad. And I was like, I was limping.
Yeah.
We probably would have gone farther on our days had it not been for my knee. I mean, everyone that we're hiking with were happy that we weren't doing bigger miles, but you were like, can we keep going? I was like, I can't. My knee, it was really hurting. I messed it up.
Yeah,
that was my only injury, really.
Yeah, it was bad to see. Like when I turned around and saw where you had fallen, it was like a 3-foot drop, and you're at the bottom of it on your like face.
I couldn't move.
It was
It
so
hurt so
bad.
much. I know.
So a thru hike can end like that. I don't know. Take your micro spikes off when you get on the rock.
Or when we went to the Sierra and I had micro spikes on, I thought about that happening again, but I had gaiters that time, so it covered up my shoelaces, so it couldn't get caught on it. It's something I would have never even thought about.
Yeah.
But don't have exposed shoelaces and micro spikes. It's a bad combo. You'll trip and die. Or get hurt.
Not good.
Yeah. But yeah, my knee hurt throughout the whole trail.
Even up north?
Yeah, I remember Corey had suggested taking those glycosamine. That helped a lot. But
that was in Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would randomly get pains from it.
Crazy.
Yeah, I messed it up. It doesn't hurt now, thank God. I remember like even sitting in cars, it would start to hurt just like it's being in like the same place for too long. Yeah, it messed me up good. But thankfully I healed.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank God. That would have been such a bummer if mile like 200 and we were done.
I know, and I remember being in Palm Springs and like I was debating whether to zero or not. And in retrospect, I totally should have zeroed. I should have just zeroed, and I'm sure everyone would have been okay with that.
Did we not zero?
No,
no, we didn't.
No, we didn't zero. Should have, but didn't. I was icing it the whole time that we were there. Was too stoked. Want to go.
So cool.
Yeah. We should go to Holland and visit him. It's close.
Sorry to pause it again here, but this has got to be, looking back on the PCT, one of my favorite, let's say, 20-mile stretches was from, and usually I don't like descents. Descents hurt my knees, and I don't know, I tend to take more in going uphill for some reason. But anyways, going the descent from your high point in the San Jacintos down to the desert floor, the views of San Jacinto probably had to do with the timing as well. This is right when the desert flowers started blooming. And this just has to be one of the most gorgeous sections of the trail that we did.
Yeah, I remember feeling like it's like the desert was welcoming us back. Like, congratulations for making it through this like really difficult snowy part. Like, yay, you're back in the desert.
Yeah.
And it's crazy too because you can see like the bottom of the trail, but it's such big, long switchbacks where it's a very comfortable descent. But I remember many times we were like, we could just like run straight down. We'd get there in like a mile. But instead it took like
it's a 20-mile descent.
Yeah, something like that.
And you're looking back at San Jacinto there. The PCT does not go up San Jacinto. We did not do it. We just didn't feel like it,
There was
honestly.
way too much snow. Yeah, we
There
were
was a ton
we were
of snow.
exhausted.
This had beat us up. Mariah had already done San Jacinto. I was cool with just going on.
Yeah, I was injured.
Yeah.
Too much snow. Like, just ready to get down to safe, comfortable terrain.
Yeah, and we didn't have water.
We didn't have have water.
Water was a big part of it.
Oh yeah, we could like see it down.
There's
the
a
bottom.
spigot at the bottom
Gotta
of
get
this
there.
descent. So for like 15 miles of it, you can see right where the water spigot is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a whole nother night before that, but
Yeah.
just look at that. The Manzanitas, snowy mountain, blue skies, like desert with lizards.
Beautiful.
I
Absolutely.
mean, come on.
Biodiversity.
We made it over the mountains. What an epic 4 days.
It really was.
It was.
We're on our way to the desert.
Cool. Ready. It's fun. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, I can't zoom on this.
I climbed up that. I came down here.
I look messed up.
I'm just like holding in my pain, just like I'm messed up. That's okay. Always positive.
We ended up making it further than we thought this night, so I think we were just so tired.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Just like how much this section actually kicked our ass. We kept positive attitudes through it, but it was like kicking our ass.
Totally. Yeah, I remember we had lunch at like one spot that had no snow, and it was the first time we didn't have snow in like days. It's just like I never want to leave this area.
It is a good morning. Why is it a good morning?
Because it's warm and we slept well.
It wasn't windy. Got a real nice sleep. The sun just came up. We got 12 miles down to the valley.
I tripped yesterday and hurt my knees, so I'm hobbling a little bit.
Oh, I did talk
Yeah.
about
But I'll get better.
underplaying it.
Also really exciting, in about 3 miles, we have a big milestone coming up. 200 miles. So yeah, made it over the San Jacinto range.
I just talk about how wild that is that this is only 200 miles in.
It
and
felt like a lifetime on
a
the trail.
lifetime, yeah. And towards the end of the trail, like 100 miles went by like that.
Like every couple days.
Right.
But every day seemed short.
Mm-hmm.
This was like living our like full lives. Like
Yeah, we
like-
felt like seasoned through hikers, like we've been doing this for so long.
Mhm.
There's only 200 miles in.
yeah.
And
Not even.
going down into town, gonna grab some resupply items and get back out there as soon as we can. Yeah.
This was so awesome. Does the PCT go through the Sierras? I didn't know that it goes through San Jacinto. So it does go through the San Jacinto mountains, the range there. It just doesn't go to the summit of San Jacinto. I think it's like 2 or 3 miles to
Just
go
right by it.
to go up to the summit and back down. The PCT does go through the Sierra, and kind of the same thing. The whole PCT kind of doesn't summit mountains, which is different from the Appalachian Trail.
Mm-hmm.
You're always kind of just traversing mountains. Like for example, in the Sierra, the PCT does not go up Mount Whitney, but a lot of people go up to Mount Whitney.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it does go through, I'd say, through the bulk of the High Sierra, over all the big passes and stuff. It just doesn't really touch many summits, if any.
Throughout the whole trail.
Yeah, there's like no summits on the PCT.
Even Baden Powell, it goes like within
A quarter
of a
mile.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
doesn't go over any of them.
yeah.
And it's funny because when you're hiking, you can see these like epic mountains. You're like, I bet we're gonna go over that, and we just like go around it.
Around
Which is
it.
fine. It
Yeah, no,
makes
it's
it
fu-
easy.
I mean, I think that's a big difference, and for us, it seems crazy because we're so accustomed to the East Coast, where you hike to go to a summit because the only view is usually on a summit.
Right.
Where here, you have the views the whole time, so I guess it makes sense that you don't go to the summit.
Why would you?
What I do wonder is like what day hikes look like in areas like this, because we saw a lot of day hikers here, and I think people just go up to a certain point until they decide they're done and they turn
Right.
around.
Right. 'Cause
There's no, like,
accessible
end point.
peaks. Yeah.
You know?
And here everyone's like so focused on hiking the 48, like hitting the mountain peaks of everything. And out there, yeah, they must just go out for the view.
Well, we saw people hiking this trail, which would be 20 miles to the San Jacinto Junction.
Right.
So they must have just been going up and then turn around at some point.
Right.
Which is cool. It's so different.
There's no like end point, yeah.
Yeah.
No goal.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Ed said, if you tried summiting all the peaks on the PCT, it would take years.
It
For
would.
sure.
It really would.
For sure.
It'd be really cool.
Look at that. Mm.
200 miles! Yeah!
Freaking did it.
What do you think? Good times?
Yeah.
Are you ready to do it? What? 13 more times?
Hell yeah.
13 more times!
13 more times.
Aww.
Look at that.
It was so beautiful.
This was the first time we saw flowers.
You remember when we got to the bottom, we all talked about our favorite flowers.
I want to go back.
Me too.
I don't want to do any other trails. I want to do this
I
trail.
know. Hi, Cactus.
Yeah, so what happens is you do that huge descent and you end up on this like paved bike path, I guess. It must be.
Yeah.
And there's a water spigot right at the bottom. And that's a huge thing for people to get to, especially as the season gets later, because you don't have water for so long. But at the very bottom, there is a water spigot once you hit this road. And you need to get that water because, one, you probably have no water left. And two, I think it's still like 3 or 4 miles from here to I-10, where it goes under the I-10. And Trail Angels cache that area with water and trail magic and stuff. But from here to there, even though it's only like, I don't know, 2 to 4 miles, somewhere in there, it has got to be one of the most deserty, like, walking on beach sand type of sections.
Yeah, walking on the sand is the worst.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, just the sun. Yeah, it's so wild because you're like in the snowy mountains where it's cool, and then you just go to like desert floor. There wasn't even like cactus or anything like going to the highway. It was just like sand. Nothing.
Yeah.
Highway buzzing over there.
Trains going by.
So wild. You go from like deep wilderness, it feels, to barren wasteland highway.
If you're looking for a more
Yes.
adventurous trail in the Sierra, try the Sierra.
High route. I would love to. I've heard about that.
As well.
I honestly don't know much about it. I don't know how long it is and where it even goes, really. But I have heard that that's awesome. It goes over the higher peaks. And I wasn't saying the PCT's like not cool because of the summit things. Like,
It's just
yeah,
different.
the passes are like insane. The passes are your summits, essentially.
Right.
And
And you
they're
don't need to
amazing.
summit everything. You can just
No.
skirt around everything.
Yeah.
But it's just different from what we're used to.
Hey, we got a super chat. Good day from Australia. Listening to you guys while I'm working. I start the PCT in early April.
Good day.
Yeah. That is awesome.
So exciting. That's
You
a
got
great
it.
time to start.
You got a good start date.
Early April is the time to start.
Mm-hmm.
Just, yeah. Yeah, I'm so jealous.
Me too.
Honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna have so much fun on the trail, and I hope it's a good year. I know it's a high snow year, but hopefully, with a bunch of snow, hopefully you early April and March starters make it through before the snow starts melting. I think that's huge, because who cares if there's a ton of snow? Like, you're gonna walk on snow. The thing is, if it all starts melting before you go through,
Yeah, if it's slushy, gross snow, that's when it's the worst.
Well, yeah, and the river crossings. I mean, the last year that was similar to the snowpack in the Sierra was 2017, and I think there were several fatalities in the river crossings.
We definitely noticed it too as we were going through, like through the beginning of this year. Like, there were just ice bridges where you wouldn't even realize there was a river. And then towards the end of it, there were some really sketchy river crossings.
Yeah, just in our time in the Sierra,
as it was melting.
like over the month, like the river crossings became more and more.
Remember Kearsarge Pass? When we went over it, there was a ton of snow. We went into Bishop, came out, and even in that like one day that we were gone, there was much less snow. Going back up.
I think
like
we took a zero. Maybe we double zeroed in Bishop. We kind of double zeroed.
Like,
We zeroed and then slept in the toilets.
Yeah.
At the base.
Got to the base of
Yeah.
the trail, yeah.
But yeah, it happens quick.
Yeah, even just in that 2 days, there was a considerable less amount of snow than 2 days before.
Lawrence is on here.
Oh.
Hi, Lawrence.
Hi, Lawrence.
Really nice to hear more context and anecdotes.
Oh,
What do
hi, Pamela.
What do you think about Liquid IV?
We used Liquid IV. Our friend Julia had like a sponsorship through them, so we used it a couple times. I think it's great.
It's delicious and works really well.
I think it works well.
But it was a little too pricey for
It's super expensive.
It's
it
like
costs
$21 for like a bag of it.
Yeah,
So,
I was
oh.
buying like Crystal Light caffeine packets that were like 40 cents a piece. But they are awesome.
They
Like,
are great.
I would always have like
Yeah.
Julia would give me one and I'd like stash it away for a special time.
Right, like when you really needed it and then you drink it, you're just like, I feel great.
It makes the water like thick.
Yeah, and like, it tastes really good. It kind of looks like Gatorade, like
It
the
does
ice
hydrate
Gatorade.
you well.
Yeah.
I think it's
great.
like, you know, it says it hydrates you more than water. I don't know if that's possible.
Maybe it helps you absorb.
But
water.
it is awesome. It is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, I definitely recommend it.
I have a March start date. I have many concerns.
Don't. Just go out there and enjoy every single day and play it by ear. You have no control over what happens. Just
Yeah.
do what you can do and don't get too caught up in being concerned about what's ahead all the time, because most of the times those concerns they're not even valid once that time comes. You keep going, and if there's an actual concern that becomes too hard to handle, you deal with it.
Yeah. And there's plenty of people that we hiked with that skipped the San Jacintos because they weren't comfortable hiking in the snow, or you know, people wait at Kennedy Meadows until it's okay to go through, or they skip ahead. You know, there's so many options where you don't have to put yourself in a sketchy situation if you don't feel comfortable doing it. Like, we felt comfortable just continuing on, but if you've like never seen snow before, there's options.
Way to go, Market Day, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Pamela. That's,
Super chat from Pam. Thanks for doing these. Love to hear the stories.
she's the one that picked us up
Yeah.
in Washington. Yeah, you're the best, Pam. We have the sign you gave us hanging up in our house. We love it.
Do people do the PCT year round?
So people start in March, April, and May. Some people, we did meet somebody that started in February. I think people that are going for like records can start in June if you're moving like 30 to 40 miles a day. But mostly, April I would say is the most common time to start. March is becoming more and more popular as climates change and whatever.
But yeah.
Yeah, the earlier you start, the more time you can take on the trail. So the more money it will cost you, but the slower you can afford to go.
Right. If it stays super snowpack building in the Sierras this winter, yeah, for sure.
I mean, honestly, the best when there's a snowpack like that, I think the best thing for the thru hikers is for it to stay cold, right? I mean, you don't want it to just start melting like crazy the second hikers enter, because then ice bridges, river crossings, all that stuff's going to be way harder. I mean, you can walk on snow. Like, there's nothing wrong with walking on snow. As long as there's no avalanche danger, a big snowpack doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and as long as it's cold enough where the snow stays firm. Because
The
when it's soft, you start post-holing.
The Watch Pod, thank you so much. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Watch
Really
Pod.
appreciate that, guys. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so sweet.
And Ed said, I'm joining the super chat group. Thanks for resharing the journey.
Thank you, Ed. You've done
Thanks,
more than
Ed.
enough for us.
Yeah, you're a sweetheart.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so awesome.
That's
Thank
the
you,
Ed
guys.
that picked us up.
No, who's at Hearts Pass?
No, Hearts Pass, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mariah
With the
gets confused.
amazing trail magic.
Yeah, Ed was the last person we saw on trail.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did we get down from there?
What's
I
her
have no
face's
idea.
mom?
Oh, Sugar Mitt's mom.
Sugar's.
We are getting way ahead of ourselves here, but this is
Yeah.
fun. This is fun. Thank you, guys.
It's fun. It's really fun.
This is great.
Yeah. I love reliving it.
Yeah, and thanks for the super chats. It really does mean a lot. It makes us want to keep doing this stuff. I mean, we're going to do it either way. It doesn't matter. It's fun for us to come on and relive the PCT. This is the first video that I can't say that I haven't watched this video, but we were working on the documentary today and kind of going over these videos a lot, so it's kind of fresh in the mind.
Yeah. But not in detail like this. You're playing that.
It's just sand.
It's not fun to walk on.
No. cars.
Heather. The amazing trail angel.
Yeah. So that's that section. I mean, so we ended up at I-10, and our plan was to try to hitch a ride to the post office. And then, infamously, there's an In-N-Out Burger. It's the closest In-N-Out Burger to the trail. So everybody goes to In-N-Out Burger. Look at that. That's just hot. That is
yeah,
hot.
that looks hot. Yeah, and our friend Paul is from Holland and had never had In-N-Out.
So, are you familiar with the American culture thing of slug bugs?
Slug bug?
Yeah. So, like, you
So, we'll talk about that a little bit here. Oh, and we got through the video with no ads. That's awesome. So, we got to I-10, and it was super incredible. We go down there, and all of a sudden there's a lady walking with waters down to the thing. We're like, oh, that must be one of the trail angels.
A sun hat and a sundress.
Yeah, that must be one of the trail angels that stalks this place. Anyways, we reluctantly, this sounds terrible because we're getting free stuff, but like reluctantly we're like, we should help her. And
I don't want
we're like, we don't want to because
So
we are
tired.
so beat. And it sounds terrible to be like, we don't want to, but we're like, we should help. So we're like helping her out, and we get talking to her, and it's this lady named Heather, who we're still in contact with, and she's just the most lovely person. She was actually on vacation. She is
From Indiana, right?
yeah, don't quote me on where she's from, Indiana
She's
or
from
something.
Indiana.
But she's just like an aspiring PCT hiker, and for one of her vacations, she wanted to just go out and drive around areas of the PCT, maybe meet some hikers, do some trail magic. Like, that's what she was doing on her vacation.
Just like check out the trail towns before she hiked it.
She knew more about the PCT than us.
She did.
So she's there, and she's like, oh, I'll bring you guys wherever you want. We're like, well, we want to go to the post office and In-N-Out. We're like, it's only like 5 minutes away. That's not a huge ask. She's like, perfect. I'll bring you wherever you want. We're like, great. So she stays with us. We do In-N-Out. She's like, where do you want to go next? And we're like, we could go to town. It's supposed to be super
she was
hot.
So nice. She's like, I have a cabin in Idlewild. If you like want to come, you can come and stay in our cabin. We're just like, we don't want to go all the way to Idlewild, but like, thank you.
It's like an hour away.
And we're like, she's like, seriously, like, where do you want to go? She's
And
like,
we're like, we could get a cheap hotel in Palm Springs. And she brings us all the way to Palm Springs, which PCT hikers usually don't go there. She brings us all the way there.
and then she picks us up in the morning and brings us cinnamon buns. She
Yeah.
was so nice.
Yeah. So she brings us to Palm Springs, drives all the way back to Idlewild, and when she leaves us in Palm Springs, she goes, what time should I be here in the morning to bring
We're
you
like,
back?
no,
We're
we'll
like,
figure it out.
we will hitchhike. Don't. She's like, no, I want to come pick you guys up. So she drives all the way from Idlewild back to Palm Springs, picks us up in the morning, shows up with cinnamon rolls and stuff, and brings us back to the trail. And she was just amazing. And I hope that
So nice.
she sees this. And thank you again, Heather. I hope you get out there and get to do this someday.
And then
Cause
she sent us a box of trail magic to Kennedy Meadows, and it had like all kinds of good stuff, like
Socks.
darn tough socks. Yeah, like just really good stuff. Like, she's an angel.
Yeah.
A little side note: she listened to audiobooks on like 5 times the speed. So it's like, which I don't know, it's like a really fun fact. And I think people actually listen to audiobooks that quickly.
well, she posted on Facebook a couple weeks ago that she listened to 160 audiobooks this year. And I was like, I
No
understand
wonder.
how.
And she like absorbs it all. It's insane.
Did you fix the damage from the tree fall?
Kind of. Our solar panels are back up. They are cracked. We don't really have the funds right now to fix it. But they are working at some sort of capacity. They're back up, and they are working, just, not quite as well.
So that's good. I know you need the PCT permit for the Sierra and Cascade National Parks. Are there other spots that you have to have the permit?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
there's a
sure
bunch.
there's a lot. Like the Cleveland National Forest right
Right
at
in
the
the
beginning.
beginning.
I'm not too sure. So we never got ours checked because we were out there when nobody else was there. Like the Sierra. I mean, we got to Tuolumne in Yosemite, and my only experience in those areas is to see no humans, which I guess is super strange. Like, to only witness Yosemite and Tuolumne with no humans
Yeah.
is a strange thing.
When I had first hiked the PCT, I got checked in the Sierra and Yosemite by rangers probably 6 times.
People said they were getting checked. We met people that said they got checked all through the southern
Yeah, I think
part.
we were just so early that no one was out. But if you go to Yogi's page, she has like a whole list of all the places that you need to get permits if you can't get a full through hiking permit. She has the individual permits that you can get listed and where to get those.
Yeah.
So check out Yogi on Facebook.
Lawrence also said there are many national parks. Yeah, I couldn't tell you which ones are, but whatever.
Yeah.
Have you guys gotten any new gear since then? My Hyperlight pack is pretty much destroyed. I plan on replacing it. We are in the works of figuring out what our hiking season's going to look like. We really, really, really hope to get out on something, whether it be big or small or medium. We'll see. It's still up in the air. We really want to get back out there.
If we can find somebody to watch our dogs, that determines everything.
Yeah, dogs, finances, whatever. But
I really want to get an Enlightened Equipment hoodie or like jacket hoodie. Yeah.
Yeah, we would definitely need some new gear. Not too much.
No, but a select few things. Just to upgrade and be lighter.
Yeah.
But we are well over an hour here. That went long, so we're gonna hop off. If you have any last minute questions, feel free to throw them in now. This was super awesome. We had more people on here than we have for the last 2 weeks, so that's really cool. Any other news? The documentary's coming. It's so much work.
Yeah, we worked on it like all day today.
Yeah, we had the day off today, so we worked on it, but we'll see how it comes out. I mean, it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
it's gonna be good. I'm excited, but I see all these other people releasing the documentary. I'm like, dang, I'm like behind the ball, but whatever.
It's okay. Put love into it.
Yeah, so thanks everybody. It's good to see all you familiar names on here. A lot of you guys are people that we met, people that really made the journey possible for us. So thank you for still sticking around, and we really appreciate it.
We love and appreciate you.
Yeah. Any potential to put the solar on the roof or too hard to maintain?
Yeah, I don't love it. You have to. We clean ours off when it snows. That'd be way harder to do if it was on the roof. Also, we have a line of trees pretty close to the roof, so I'd have to cut a bunch more trees for them to be on the roof. You drill more holes in your roof. You have to wire it on your roof. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
putting them on would be so sketchy.
If we ever did like another addition, I might throw a couple panels on the roof, but I don't think I'd put all of our panels on the roof.
Yeah.
But
looking forward to the OCT footage.
Yeah, we're debating whether we should go over the OCT or not on this.
Yeah, we'll see.
It was a lot of fun. Probably do it in like one sitting.
Yeah.
Well, probably starting next week, we're going to do 2 videos because they go down to like 15 minutes apiece.
Yeah.
But all right, everybody, have a wonderful night. We'll see you soon. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. This video is going to be live just after this. Follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our channel, like this video, do all that fun stuff. We'll keep making videos. Let us know what you want to see. And hopefully we'll be back out on trail soon. We are fiending. It's already been like half a year since we've been back.
That's so crazy.
We started hiking the PCT a month and a half from now, last year. It's almost been a full
like
year since we started.
Yeah. Getting the bug. Getting bitten by the bug.